We start this hour with some breaking news, and emergency services are trying to remove a protester who has managed to climb up the Elizabeth Tower at the Houses of Parliament. Our correspondent, Ashna Hurinag, is there for us. Ashna, everything seems to be blocked off there, emergency services on the scene. How did he manage to get up there?
That is the big question, Sam. This area around me remains completely cordoned off now. Westminster Bridge now permanently shut as members of the public gather round to witness this quite dangerous stunt, but also quite an extraordinary thing. A man is a third of the way up the Elizabeth Tower, the tower most famed, of course, for having Big Ben right at the top. Police were called at 7:30 this morning. They were alerted to this incident around the Houses of Parliament, and when they arrived here, they had been told and they found that a man, a protester, barefoot, had appeared to climb the Elizabeth Tower, and he now sits on the ledge near that second, perhaps third story of the building. Meanwhile, all around us, there are, as well as the crowds that have gathered, many emergency services personnel. So we've got some 5 fire engines at least, a number of ambulances too. Important to say, one of the fire engines, the crane of it is up, and what I can see on the top is the operator of that crane with what looks like 2 individuals thought to be negotiators, because you can see clearly that there is conversation happening between the man that is currently on the Elizabeth Tower holding a Palestinian flag, and every now and again you'll hear him and the crowd respond back, and he will say "Free Palestine," but you can see clear conversation between the 2 people on top of the crane and also this man at the top of that ledge. We know that he's also tied that flag to the ledge itself. Let me bring you a Metropolitan Police statement from a spokesperson. They say at 7:24 on Saturday, the 9th of March, officers were alerted to a man climbing up the Elizabeth Tower of the Houses of Parliament. Officers, they say, are at the scene, and yes, indeed they are. We have seen many of them working to bring this incident, to a safe conclusion. They are being assisted, as you can see behind me, by the London Fire Brigade and the London Ambulance Service. Those shouts just off mic there, those are shouts of "Free Palestine." They are shouting that to that man. He is dressed all in black. We know that he is wearing a cap, and crucially, he is barefoot. Perhaps that gives us some indication as to how he managed to get up that tower. We know that this is, though, one of the most secure, one of the most safe places in London. This area is looked after. The Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Unit as part of the police. They are heavily armed. They look after buildings such as the embassies, the number of ministry buildings, and also places like Buckingham Palace, and also, crucially, the Houses of Parliament. And we know that they will have been in attendance this morning, many of them. The crucial question is, how has the security managed to be breached in that way? Anyone that has been anywhere near this area, or even inside the Houses of Parliament itself, we know that there are numerous security measures that are put in place to make sure this sort of thing doesn't happen. It's worth saying this sort of thing has happened before. In 2019, an Extinction Rebellion demonstrator was arrested after climbing the scaffolding of Big Ben that it had around it at that time. They at the time were arrested after 3 hours of being up there. And separately, in 2008, protesters managed to get onto the roof of Parliament. They were campaigning and demonstrating against Heathrow expansion. But as you've heard there from police, they are working now to try and bring this incident to a safe conclusion.